YouTube, Marie-Therese Sinkson here, also known as the glowdoc. I'm accompanied here by a very special person. Her name is Ashley, my cousin, and she is an occupational therapist extraordinaire.
Thank you for having me, Therese. I really appreciate being here.
Oh, thank you for coming. And Ashley is very inspirational, and I love her story and path that she's taken in life. And her calling is to be an occupational therapist. So that's what we'll talk about today. So how long have you been an occupational therapist?
I've been an OT for 9 years. Before that, I was working in biotech. I had a biotech company, but I was a desk job and it just wasn't for me. You know, and I knew I wanted to do something that really helped people more and be really hands-on with people, you know? So I actually wanted to be a physical therapist initially. So I volunteered at a skilled nursing facility and I was watching a physical therapist, but then she asked me, why do you want to be a physical therapist? And, you know, I kind of told her a little spiel, and then she introduced me to occupational therapy. She was like telling me about it, and she told me that maybe I should just like look into it and kind of see what they did, and I actually liked OT better than physical therapy. I felt like it was more me.
A better fit.
Yeah, a better fit for me. And then from there, I kind of volunteered at kids clinics and at the hospital, so I had a little bit of experience before I actually really pursued it.
I love that. And you did your own investigating. You did your own field research, which I think is really important.
Yes.
Because there's so many great avenues and fields in medicine, and it's really a team, right? That works together. I think occupational therapy is amazing because you get people back on their feet.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I think a really great discussion point would be, I wanted to ask you, what's the main difference between occupational therapy and physical therapy? Yes.
Okay. Physical therapy, you know, they help rehabilitate people, you know, with walking, ambulation, you know, improving like their muscle strength, range of motion. So we do something similar, but we apply it to function, you know, and activities of daily living, whether it be for kids, it would be playing or eating. For adults, it's like, you know, for them to go to the bathroom or take a shower, put on their clothes, and just teaching people how to do things more effectively and more independently.
Wow,
So it's just a little bit different. Like in layman's terms, I like to say physical therapy kind of like helps you build the strength, range of motion, and balance, and helps you learn how to walk better. But when you walk, you're going to someplace, right? You're gonna go do something. So that's what OTs kind of focus on. We focus on what you're gonna do when you get there.
Goal-oriented.
Yeah, a little bit more specific than, well, physical therapy is specific too, but you know, we do more upper extremity, fine motor, we can do more cognitive treatments, different things like that.
And integral in anyone going back into the work field. And so you see men and women of all ages, or?
I focus on the geriatric population. My specialty is, well, I've worked in the skilled nursing facility and I do home health right now too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So fun fact is we're Catholic. We grew up in the Catholic Church, and actually this past Sunday, I believe it was a special day for the elderly.
Oh, okay.
It was like a celebration for like the geriatric population, elderly, and I think that really hits home for me because in our culture too, as Filipinos, we love to respect our elders, right? And look up to them for guidance. And I still do with your dad too, my mom. And we're proud pinoys. We're proud Filipinoamericans. And I know I'm segueing from the occupational therapy discussion, but I just wanted to add that, you know, respect and elderly are very important in our culture.
Oh yes.
But also, Filipinosinmedicine is my new group that I started on Instagram. Please give it a follow, Filipinosinmedicine. And it's a group that I started.
I know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a group to inspire Filipinos in medicine, not just solely Filipinos, of
Yeah.
course, but any immigrant, especially of a third world,
Yes.
and to kind of network
Yes.
with the folks that I had met when I was in the Philippines in med school, and then also my community that I have here in the United States. I think to bring them both and, you know, eventually hopefully do medical missions in the future is what I see in about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
To connecting that. So
I think that's really, really important. I'm just really proud of you for
Oh,
doing that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
It means a lot.
yeah.
I look up to this girl. So Ashley is inspiring to me because not only is she a boss babe and an occupational therapist, but she's a sister. Hi, Erin. Just a little shout out, my cousin.
Oh my gosh.
She's a sister. She's a great daughter to her parents.
Thank
She's
you.
a wifey to
Oh
Chris.
my
Hi,
gosh.
Chris. And also to her two beautiful babies. So I think I wanted to ask you about work-life balance.
Oh my gosh.
Too, because I still have a lot to learn,
Yeah.
and I look up to you in that,
Yeah.
and for any future women who are wanting to do occupational therapy or just have a career-oriented path.
So that's a really big thing why I love my job, and I'm so thankful that I got into occupational therapy. I was previously working at a SNF, and typically at a SNF you work like 4 to 5 days a week.
And SNF is skilled nursing
A skilled
facility.
nursing, sorry, it's a skilled nursing facility, and you know you work 40 hours, so you're there for 8 hours a day. So now that I transitioned into home health, I kind of make my own schedule. So I can treat patients at their homes, but do the paperwork at home. So that's kind of the benefit of it, and I can kind of move my patients around. You know, obviously I work with them, you know, with their schedule to, you know, kind of have a better work-life balance for myself and for my kids. So having the time for my kids is really, really important, and my family and my friends.
Well, cheers to that. Cheers, my love. We're drinking
you.
a delicious wine today from Akashwinery in Temecula. I think you all should check it out. I highly recommend. And what's also unique about what Ashley does as an occupational therapist is she's able to do home health. And I would love for you to talk about how you got to home health and your experience with that, because I think that's really unique and special. And I don't know if a lot of people know that you can have a schedule like what Ashley has. So I would love for you to talk about that.
Okay, so it's kind of an interesting story of how I got with my company, because I've done home health in the past kind of on the side while I was working at a skilled nursing facility, and I would just work with a certain company, and I'll see patients like one time a week or a couple patients here and there. But and then I stopped it because it was honestly a lot of work because of the paperwork. So home health, the only thing that's really hard about it is the driving and the paperwork. So trying to schedule all your patients like logistically in terms of distance and time, and doing your paperwork at home. So a lot of people don't get motivated to do the paperwork at home, which is really tiring. But I was working at a skilled nursing facility, and one of the owner of my current home health company came to our facility looking for an OT.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to work with, and someone told him to ask me if I wanted to do it, and I was really hesitant because I didn't really have good experience in the past with working with home health companies, but for some reason, I don't know what it was, it told me to try it out again.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
And it was meant for you.
Yes.
Because they were looking specifically for your expertise.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So,
and Ashley works hard. Like, I remember meeting up after work one day, and she was still doing work in the car.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and that's what's great about you can be really flexible.
Very flexible.
Yes.
Work in the car
You
or
can-
wherever, you know, get things done whenever
in her
you have
Tesla.
time.
In her Tesla. I saw her like doing some like billing and working, and I think that's great because then you're not confined to a workspace. If that's the lifestyle that you want, I think that's amazing. You can be flexible.
Yeah,
Your
very
office
flexible.
can be anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can drive to different locations and not be bored ever.
Yeah,
And
so every day's different,
every
which
day
I
is
love.
different,
Yeah,
yes.
so you're seeing different patients, you know,
Yes.
like, you know, different times of the day, different areas. I live in Sandiego, so I cover mostly south side of San Diego and the east side. of Sandiego. So so I cover mostly that area. So every day is always different. You know, patients are always coming and going. So it's really exciting and it's really fulfilling because I really get to help patients. And it's really crazy because, you know, you just see some people don't have a lot of family, you know, so they're kind of reliant on, you know, other people to kind of help them. So it's really nice that I can kind of help them and provide a certain level of care and like do things that, you know, that will really be beneficial for them.
Especially for the elderly too,
yes,
right? They need that support and community and assistance.
Yes.
And I think that's amazing that that's what you get to do every day. And in medicine, as well as other fields, what's great is there are fires, I like to put it, that you put out every day. You just don't know what to expect, and that's why you're never bored and you're always on your feet. Your brain's always working, and I appreciate that. You know, you get to do that and figure out problem solve, and make someone else's life better. So that's a very special vocation. And you touched on a few really fun points. I used to be a candy striper. This generation, like, is it Generation Z now?
I know.
Might not know what a candy striper is, but that is the old term to use for someone who is a volunteer at the hospital. So for all you youngins, I definitely recommend, like Ashley and I did, to volunteer. And that's how you found your current occupation and company, is that you did your research, you volunteered. And that's great exposure too, you know.
So I volunteered at different types of clinics. So with OT, you can work with geriatrics, you can work with kids, you can work with people who have mental health issues.
I did SNF, skilled nursing facility.
So I volunteered at a hospital too. So I did all different types. So you can kind of see what area you would like to specialize in.
And start early. I started in high school as a candy striper. And then like college, you know, at UCLA Medical Center, Untitled Children's Hospital. So I think just if you start earlier, the better, because then you can see your different fields.
If you're really interested in that, or if you're not interested in, and you can, you know, find what's really best for you, because you don't want to dive into something not really knowing if it's right for you, or invest so much time and money into doing something and then you find out you don't really like to do it. You know. And
your hard work ethic, I wanted to bring it back to Filipinos in medicine. Because that is what fuels you, and it fuels me, and I think we can really relate on that level. Please do share what fuels you and why, you know.
You know, for us Filipinos, it's our parents came from a third world country, and life there is really, really hard. And I'm so fortunate that my parents and my grandparents worked really hard to help their children get into a better place for their future. So just seeing, you know, the conditions there and what they had to go through, and then what they had to do for their families, and how hard they had to work really inspires me. And I don't want to take their work for granted. That's why I feel like I try to, you know, work as hard as I can, you know, always try to educate myself and, you know, do what's best for myself, family, friends, and just try to help others in any way possible. So, and I'm so thankful for you for doing this. That's really inspiring. You know, like people need that. People need to see that.
Thank you. And a lot of our family is still in the Philippines, and, and we're still very connected to the islands and our family there. And I think that even in a country like the Philippines or the third world, you still see people that are smiling, that are happy, that are content with what we are not used to, right? So I remember watching my mom, actually she had my brother and I wash our clothes in the river. She used to wash her clothes with rocks as like the washboard, and we carried it on our heads in a basket.
I just think, like them.
Yes, my mom had us frequently go back to the Philippines, and I think that's why I had a calling to go back and go to school there, and work at a charity ward and do a few medical missions when I was out there for my stint of like about 5 years, and that like really made me appreciate what we have here. I mean, even just like a washing machine.
I know.
or a dishwasher
Yeah.
is amazing. And they do have those things there, trust
Yeah.
me. They do have those things, and a lot of times, sometimes they have better technology than we do because
Yeah.
they're in Asia, so they're closer to the hub of
Japan,
countries that that make advancements in technology. But yeah, so love your message and bringing it back and working hard to represent our families.
And I just love how you're just trying to connect all, the Filipinos to kind of inspire them and have people to look up to.
Yes.
Yeah. In the medical field, if you want to be in the medical field, or
And our parents never forced us.
Yeah.
Also, that's like a misnomer.
Yeah.
That a lot of our parents or somebody forced us to, but no, actually, my mom didn't want me to leave for that long.
Oh, I know.
But
so
but she was
far.
very supportive. Whatever it was,
yeah.
she just wanted us to be the best that we could be.
Yes.
And give it 100%.
Yeah.
Well, toast. And one thing I love to share on this channel too are sharing individual paths and educational background. So I wanted to ask you, because what your background is with schooling and how long occupational therapy school took and things like that.
Okay. So I got my bachelor's at SDSU, and it took me 4.5 years to get. And then I took about a year off, and I did more volunteer work, and I kind of got more, completed the prereqs that I wasn't able to complete at SDSU. And I applied to University of St. Augustine, and it took me like 1.5 years to get my master's in occupational therapy.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Just try hard.
and that's it, is effort, right? It's attitude plus effort is achievement, right?
Yes.
Always my family always preached that to me.
Yes.
And so so what is like a tip we would give an aspiring OT student?
Okay, like what I said earlier is to volunteer as early as you can, and I would say to as many different types of clinics, just so you can kind of get an idea of where you would want to work and what you want to specialize in, if you can, if you're able to, of course. And to also make you more competitive. And I would also say, because I didn't do this, to look at more schools in terms of your budget. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so even if they were out of state, I know some people did that and it was more cost effective for them. So I think that was a good, that is an alternative path that you could take. And I also know some OTs who were an assistant first. They became an occupational therapy assistant, and then while they were working, they did online school to get their OT program, to get their master's in OT. Yeah, but I think it takes longer if it's online, and I want to say like every few months she had to go to the school, which was, I believe, in like Tennessee, somewhere like that. So
so there are different avenues. It doesn't have to be a cookie cutter.
Yes, exactly.
Formula.
Yeah, but she was also, what was good for her is she was also working. She was able to work and to help pay for her education.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think being fiscally responsible too, because our school loans are so expensive.
Yes.
Of course, we want to have good credit scores, people. So make sure you're on top of that FICO score as an adult. I think that's very important to preach. I feel like schools should teach that more.
Yeah.
But being fiscally responsible, I'm still learning to budgeting, spending accordingly.
Yeah.
But also, I think what's really special too is that you are a working mommy and wifey, and so you have little ones.
Yes.
And they're beautiful. They look just like you.
Thank you.
And like their grandpa and uncle. It's like amazing. They all have the same.
Yes. And my husband.
Yes. Chris, of course.
Yeah.
So I would love to go over like a daily, and I know it changes, I'm sure, a lot. But like what a typical day is like being an OT, because being in home health, you go to different locations. So I would love to hear.
Okay. Every day is different. I would say anytime the kids are asleep, that's when I can do my paperwork. that's when I can really focus. So it's either I wake up really early. So normally I wake up at like 6:30, sometimes 5 if I have a lot of work that I didn't get to complete the night previously. So I'll wake up like 6:30 and I'll do my paperwork then. So I have like, you know, a good 2-3 hours of uninterrupted time. So I'll do my paperwork during the day. And then, you know, right when they wake up, I start making breakfast, and my mother-in-law comes and she watches the kids, and I go off and go to work. And, you know, in terms of my job as a home health OT, I'm always kind of planning my day either the day before or the day of. So I'm always constantly thinking of just that day. And I'll call my patients. Sometimes I'll call my patients the day before, or I'll call them the day of, because most of my patients are all at home. You know, they don't really do anything unless it's the first visit. I kind of introduce them. I'll kind of call them, introduce myself the day before, and kind of plan when it would be best for me to see them first. And I kind of try to plan my days in terms of their schedule, obviously, but their location, where they're at.
Nice.
Yeah, and so, yeah, every day is different, but Mondays are soccer days for my kids.
Yay, sports are important.
Yes, so they play soccer. And on Tuesdays, it's Taco Tuesday. Woo! At Rubio's. It's $2 tacos. Yeah. So,
love that.
Yeah. And, you know, other days I'm just planning, like trying to work out. I'll try to fit a workout in.
Yes.
I'll try to run with my friends.
And she's buff, like really fit.
Yeah, you know, you gotta try to balance everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'll try to work out and you know, fit Costco in there. Try to fit all the errands during the week. That's what I try to do.
I noticed that all successful people have a routine, and I think sticking to it and being committed to it is very important.
Yeah.
I'm always fine-tuning a routine, but I think what you have is amazing, like that alarm clock, that natural body alarm of waking up early. I try to do that too.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. So routines
Yeah.
and like rituals, if you will,
Yes.
become
believe in
natural,
that. Yeah.
right? Me
Yes.
too. Me too.
Yeah, I really believe like the habits that you form will, you know, impact the decisions that you make later in life. Yeah, so establishing good habits and trying to, you know, instill that in my kids for them so they're more successful later in life as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they look up to you, and you know, I think everything you're sacrificing too is always going to help the family, right? Cheers. Special thank you to Akashwinery and their lovely rosé blend that is really unique and delicious. And also special thank you to Temecula Life for filming and editing, Luis and Samara. Everyone please follow the Temecula Life app as well as their Instagram, Temecula Life. And also special thank you to Chelsea and Sandra of Lashes and Beauty in Murrieta, California. I also wanted to add Ashley's contacts, so please follow Ashley at
Bashley Boo. It's BASHLEY_BOO.
And also she has a really cool YouTube, great resource for all things educational for anatomy. So yes, what is that YouTube page?
It's anatomy and physiology, I think, too.
Anatomy and physiology,
yeah, I have
amazing.
some physiology content on there. I believe it's ATPTOT. That's my username for that channel. Yeah.
I've checked it out. It's really great. It's really great. And so cheers. Thank you so much. Remember, God is love, and thank you so much. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe.